Hey guys, welcome back to another Steam Deck video. Today we're looking at an interesting game, a type of game genre that I don't usually play or have in regular rotation. Today I'm playing One Military Camp. Now this video is not sponsored, but I was provided a code by the publishers to review how this game runs in the Steam Deck and provide my honest thoughts on the gameplay. With that being said, all my thoughts on this game are my own, and believe me, since this isn't really my genre of game, you're gonna hear when there's something I don't like. So before we dive into the game mechanics, I want to go ahead and talk about the background of the game. You know, answer some questions that you might be asking. What kind of game is it? What's the story like? Why doesn't my channel have 1,000 subscribers yet? Okay, everything but that last one. One Military Camp is described officially as a strategy, management, city building game. And after playing a few hours, I can say yes, it's all of these. The premise of the whole game is to build your own military camp, manage the camp, the people, the economy within the camp, recruit more people to your camp to make them become a specialist in something that can aid your progress, and then send your teams on missions to progress the story. The story of this game doesn't have the most depth, but to be honest, it doesn't really need it. There's this bad ruler dragon who's capturing all the regions on the map, and as you do more missions and save more villages, you take over the area of the map and lessen Dragon's influence. It's like if domination in Call of Duty was slower. Just kidding. The gameplay loop of this game it's hard. Imagine being in charge of someone, kind of like a parent. Now imagine being in charge of 60 plus people and where they live, tending to their needs, fixing things when they break, trying to add improvements, and on top of that, keeping people happy. You are tasked out of your butt in this game, and I have to admit, I was pretty overwhelmed. Especially because, like I mentioned, I don't usually play games like these that have so many micro tasks in them. I will mention that the campaign does provide a pretty decent tutorial mode that walks you through all the major fields that you'll need to be familiar with. You'll need to know where the troops and staff will sleep, you'll have to create training grounds for them to participate in, or buildings where they'll work out of, you need to buy supplies and resources that will power your base. Oh, and on top of all of this, you have to pay for it, so you're tracking finances as well. One critique off the bat that I have for this game is that there isn't really a difficulty setting for the campaign, because people like me will lose their camp to financial debt very quickly. I think I lost it 3 times already. The tutorial is nice, but because of all the different tasks you have to track, I ended up forgetting what to do. My troop can't train because the shooting range is out of ammo, so I have to get my maintenance guy to restock it. Well, first I have to order more ammo, and then make sure the guy's working that shift to replenish it, and then, you see what I mean? Again, I'm a newbie, so if you're a fan of this genre, you're probably well adapted to this playstyle. The closest I've been to a game like this is Civ Rev, which I'm bad at, or Halo Wars, which I'm less bad at because it's not as in-depth. Adding a longer tutorial mode or an easy difficulty would be a dope option in my opinion. The aspect that I really enjoyed, even though I barely reached the point in which I can do it, is the missions. The mission aspect of this game is the territory portion that I mentioned earlier. You'll have missions pop up where you send your specialized troop to fight the enemy, and if you win, you take over that territory and get the supplies, resources, and support from that village in that area. If you've ever played Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, it's kinda similar to how you'd recruit troops to specialize in a skill set. That will then level you up to make new items, but also be able to deploy troops to outer ops where you send a group out to fight while you're doing the main mission gameplay loop. Now I know I mentioned the campaign was tough, and that I'm bad, but there's also another mode you can play called Sandbox. This lets you set the parameters of everything. The money you start with, how much things cost, how much you have to pay people, you can even unlock all the upgraded facilities and set any hero you want. The hero is kind of like a captain of the base who has passive traits and helps boost morale. I thoroughly enjoy the sandbox mode, but I will warn you, there's no tutorial, so you might be lost when it comes to new processes that you haven't reached yet in the campaign. So one of the main reasons I want to make a video on this game is to show how it runs in the Steam Deck. It runs flawlessly. The game seems to be at a locked 30 frames, which is perfect for this type of gameplay. The settings weren't that in-depth and don't provide any tweaking when it comes to resolution or frame rate, but to be honest, it doesn't need it. The game just works. It's marked as only playable, but I haven't encountered anything so far that breaks the game or even comes close to that. The analog buttons map well, the shoulder buttons offer more menu options, and it's built very intuitively. I can see this game being a great time killer if you want to clock in a few minutes or even a few hours, if you'll make it that long without going broke like I did. It's funny because you can also get loans in the game and raise the prices of goods that you trade. I felt like a bank with all the money juggling I was doing. I haven't tried this game on PC yet, but I can't imagine it would run any better. And that only goes to show how well the developers at Abylight Barcelona did when making sure it would run on the Steam Deck. Kudos to them. I do want to also mention the battery life when it comes to this game. Now this is a portable console, but I don't know which Steam Deck user at this point plays their system without a charger nearby, but on a full charge, I was seeing this game get a full 3 hours of playtime. Definitely on par with other indie games, and better than some other titles, like almost every other title that isn't an indie game. So right now, the game is out on early access. It's been on early access since March 2nd, 2023. The team at Abylight Barcelona has told me that the game will make it out of early access and have a full release on July 20th, which isn't too far away. They've also released a tactical roadmap of expected content for the game up until its release. Some of the features have already been updated and built into the game, accurate to what the roadmap shows. If they are good on keeping their word for early access updates, I can only imagine the additions they'll add when the full release is out. As mentioned, the developers are Abylight Barcelona, a group of developers who have previous experiences with past games and have the ultimate goal of making just a fun game. And the indie publisher, Abylight Studios, is a publisher you might have heard of before. They're the same group who's made awesome games in the past before, like Cursed Castilla X, Super Hydra, and Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition. I've honestly never heard of the first two titles, but after looking them up, they look like pretty dope arcade games. But, I mean, we've all heard of Hyper Light Drifter, and that's cool. Alright guys, that was my review of one military camp running on the Valve Steam Deck. I know I said I'm not a fan of this genre, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing to get an outside perspective on a game that you might not really gravitate towards naturally. I put in more time into this game even after recording this video, and that should tell you one thing. It's fun. It does what a good game should do, and that's be fun. Who knows, maybe this will be my new genre that I enjoy. But maybe not, we'll see. All in all, the gameplay loop is good and the replayability is endless. Even more so if you're bad, because you'll want to keep on playing to see what cool missions pop up further into the campaign. Again, I want to thank Abylight Barcelona for providing me a code for this game. I'm available if you want to keep on doing that, or any other developers for that matter. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this game looks good? It does, but still, tell me your point of view. Are you in a similar boat as me when it comes to playing a game outside of your comfort zone? This is something I might start doing more because who knows? Maybe I'm gatekeeping myself from some potential bangers. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, so let me know down in the basement of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please feel free to drop a like. If you want to stay tuned for some more consistent content or just want to support the channel, consider subscribing. Or my next target from my malnutrition, low-funded military camp will be you. Okay, thanks, bye.